This is day 846 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is sponsored by Reb Hanania Cohen in honor of the yahrzeit of his father, who happens to be also my wife's Rebbe Muvhak, Rav Eliezer Ben Yosef Cohen, Rav Eliezer Cohen of Detroit, Zatzal. May his neshama have an aliyah. Today's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is Siman Tavkuf Mem Aleph Gimel to Siman Kaf Mem Tavkuf Mem Daled Aleph Gimel. We're also talking about Busha all of you cannot fix your clothing and your shoes hakruim if they're ripped. You can't tell non-Jews to fix them. Even though they're going to get ripped further. If you can't fix them, also it's forbidden. It's only called davar aved when the primary thing is lost. In other words, kind of like I don't know if it's sushtel too. The principle versus the interest, but probably not a good sushtel. Anyway, shika davar nifsad when the main thing is lost. Not if it just gets ruined a little bit more than it was. But if you do a little bit of shinoi, then you can fix them a little bit for the purpose of yontif, even a professional. The hediot ain't shinoi. Amateur does not require any shinoi. Anything hediot does is shinoi. Occasionally, some say some say if they are very much ripped and very ruined, you fix them all together. This is certainly going to cause a loss. Fix them is going to be completely ruined. The best to do it through a non-Jew. Sharatin says if you can buy new shoes, you certainly should not be makel, because then it's not davar aved. So general principle. If you laundry also, which we didn't discuss at the time. If you don't have enough laundry for a chol moed, go buy new. It's no prohibition on buying new if it's a chol yontif. Somebody who needs a garment on yontif. If he doesn't, if he doesn't have what to wear outside, he was an armature. He was not an expert at this work. He can make this garment the normal fashion. Uman Mahir, if he's a professional who is quick at this work, he's got to downgrade his work to that of an amateur. He should make a broad stitches, not professional looking stitches. And the zigzag kind of like one on top, one on bottom. Kishine kelev. That's like a dog's teeth, which zigzag in and out. It does not sufficient that the professional makes a shinui in sewing by changing how he holds the needle in his hand. There has to be a shinui in the actual sewing. Even though in terms of writing it suffices to hold the pen in a way which is not normal, which is by seeing Tov Kuf Mem Hey. But although, well, we'll get there. We'll see when we get there. Writing is not a professional activity. Minikra uman who's called professional. Before they had sewing machines, the way they made even stitches was by squeezing together a bunch of like this. They would fold a little bit, fold, and then again, I don't know if you can see this, but they would fold. This better. They would fold and fold and fold again, and then they would, when they had the folds, they would put a needle through them, and then when you pulled out the folds, the stitches were even. Obviously, they folded it much more smaller folds than I just did. So anybody knows that to make an even seam like that. Knows to apply a hem at the edge of a garment. Those are professionals. According to this, most of the women at the time, should be called professionals. They know how to do this. Not anymore. The Shmuel writes that the Ramah holds that most people can actually do this straight, this even stitching, and therefore every person is machmir, not just the women, also the men. I couldn't do it if you asked me. Um, but of course, you can't do a sewing machine either. So, in fact, you do a sewing machine doesn't allow you to do without doing the shinui. But Tina Shalom B'Chag also associated with Begonim Chadashim Moed. B'Shul Mula B'Hem. Yeah, a child who's born on Yom Tov, you're not allowed to make him new clothing on Chol Moed in honor of his bris milah. His father can wrap him in silk if he wants. You laugh at that. You don't have to put him in nice garment whatsoever. The Lord should say, for this purpose, we're not going to allow him to sew on Chol Moed. The Sharatzim says, even a Maisa Hediot is also in order to make a garment for bris milah. Tafkum Membes, not to do work for others, even for payment. Even malacha which you can do chomoid, which you explained previously, it's only mutter by himself or by others who don't take money to do it. But to hire oneself out or get paid is also kabbalah schar moed have a kuf to the chol. Receiving a payment on chol moed is a weekly activity. There must be exceptions to this. We'll see. Mishabur writes that those things which are mutter because of ochel nefesh, such as grinding and chopping wood when necessary, if you can't find people who want to do it for free, then you can pay them wages. The Riffa holds that this is true by anything which is in tzarech moed. In terms of barbers and washers, laundry people, in the matter for those who are permitted to get haircuts and to wash, it seems that you can also pay them, says the Mishnah. But you don't give them a precise a set sum like a fee. But you invite them to eat with you as wages. That's not called weekly activity. On weekdays you don't pay in that manner. Something which there's a loss involved, you can have the person do it even if there is a set price. It's not possible some other way. Such as where you yourself can't do it. And if you don't pay the set amount, you won't find somebody who does it. There's no prohibition under those circumstances to pay the set sum. Shul writes that even if it's not for the purpose of Chol Moed, and even if it's a professional, if you can find a non-Jew for this, it's better. Then I guess you can pay, period. But if you find non-Jews do this, it's better not to hire Jews unless those Jews have nothing to eat. Even though the buyer can, even though the buyer can pay, I should say the person contracting the work can pay, but the person who does the work really should not charge as he does on a weekday. Long brackets here. Can you really use like to the Farish Mashkas Rambam? This would seem to me a shot in what the Rambam says. The Dover Aved Mutter Skar Kotsu, where it's a Dover Aved, the set price is permitted. The Zel Ala Noisin, that's on the person who's paying. But the worker, if he has what to eat, he's a fresh it's low. What does it make to him? Whether the thing of the person giving the money is a Dover Aved or not. But that seems not to say away. But also Ramal doesn't seem that way. They came to Malachim Muteres, Gamaskar Mutu Medina. So Rosh says it sounds from the Ramal from the said where it's a Dover Aved and the Malach is permitted, automatically it's the Skar Katsuv, the set wages or price is also permitted. Mishnah writes the same thing. Just like they allowed a Baal Boss to give his malacha to a worker who doesn't have what to eat, even if it's not for the purpose of Chol Hamoed. They also allowed a worker to they allowed the Baal Boss to do this in order to benefit the worker. So too, we can allow the worker to take schar. It's kind of like a reciprocal. Allow the worker to take the set wages for the benefit of the Baal Boss. Okay, so just like we do for the good of the worker, we do for the Baal Bais as well. Symmetrical. But Arukh HaShulchan leaves it Turkey, even though there are Mishabur seems to be Mako. By Rabba Siman Akoidem Sivkot and Zayin Cholik Gamel Beisesim Beisim Shosim Toskar. Rabba argues on everybody who says you can't get paid. Maybe Ryan Medafid Beis Uvungare the Bay Reish Galusa. I think those are the people who set up the yard of the Bay Reish Galusa. Any Makirayas I don't know his proof. Gamri Varsiman Reish Gava Muvur the Rak Oni She'en Mayochal. Only a poor person doesn't have what to eat. Mutar Lo Toskar, he can take his wages below Acher, not somebody else. Ayin Sham Beduk. Keep saying wages, but it's the price of the contracting this person to do the work. Base. Kasar Rabbeinu Beis Yosef. He says, "My called Malacha Mutar so they poil she'en lo mayochal kadeshi stakar b'yarbiach." Any you can do any work for be a person who doesn't have what to eat, nor they should make money, and nor she should be hired and make money. Became in shutra lo malacha zu. This is permitted for him to do this work because he doesn't have what to eat. You can take a lot of pieces for this work, but not from another type of work. But in any event, we don't require him to sell stuff off from his house or from his objects in order to pay for food for Yontif. He has allowed to work. Remember those that say even if he only has water, bread and water, that because he has what to eat, and he shouldn't hire himself out. It'll be chumrah. But that thing is chayra, simply in terms of commercial activity, it's a merchandise. See, that's tefillin, right? Tefillin, hutra lo kadei so tzarcha yontav berevach. He's allowed to do this tzarcha yontav expansively. Lo malacha mamish. I'm not saying which we consider malacha. I guess something which is laborious, opposed to commercial activity and writing tefillin, which are not labor intensive. Those that argue, the Rabba, chen ikar, and that is the primary thing that that any malacha can be done if somebody doesn't have what to eat. Yerushalmi, it's a Yerushalmi, except that's quoted by the Rabba of Sham. Anilo Matsasi said the Arukh HaShulchan did not find this Yerushalmi. The Shabur writes that if it's not possible, the Shabur writes that my Yerushalmi is machmir. I don't see the Bible argue. So we have opposite interpretation of whatever the Yerushalmi says. I don't know if Arukh HaShulchan didn't find the Yerushalmi. The only as it seems to me, it says the Kol Malachas Hutroi De Poel Shalom Mayochal, even though all work is made for work who has nothing to eat. Nevertheless, Malacha Sheish Bapirsum, Malacha which is highly public, also that's forbidden. Mr. Bull writes that if it's not possible to do work in private, he's allowed to do it in public when he doesn't have anything to eat at all. But if he has, I guess the bread and water and the Mogen Avram, and he wants to have more, then you can't be lenient and allowed to do it in public. Because here's our shulchan, also, so to shave and to cut hair is also. The time isu kadesh leikonsel regel kshem nu volim. So it's a prohibition on getting haircuts. Is that you shouldn't come to the other when you are disgusting. Came kshetate they poil she'elam ayochal. You're going to allow a worker who has nothing to eat to do the work, to give haircuts. The problem will come back, and the person put off the cholamoid. We can't say that it's not prevalent and a person's not going to rely on this. That's certainly poor workers all the time. The barbers are poor; they need to work. Tough kuf mem gimel. The malacha day in Yehudi bim cholamoid. Malacha by a non-Jew. Aleph, kam malacha also batzma b'chol hamoed. Any malacha you can't do on your own cholamoid. Also, Marlene Yehudi la so now tell non-Jews do. K'mo sheshini b'braisa. Kol shadavar. Kol shadavar. The general principle is kol shose omer any Yehudi ose. Anything you can do, and tell non-Jew to do. Kol sheino ose anything you can't do. Ain't omer any Yehudi ose, so you can't tell non-Jew to do it either. Commerce. Kosher also about small. Anything you're not allowed to do. Also, they in Yehudi. It's also for a non-Jew. But Tam Pashat, the reason is simple. The Kem Dikar Tam Isra Shal Miskor Malacha, who Kadeshi Sangam with Simchas Yontiv Yaska B'Teila. Since the primary reason why it's also to do commercial activity and work is in order to enjoy Simchas Yontif and to learn Torah. Which time seen Tav Kuf Lamed Tes B'Shem Yerushalmi. He can't even not to loy de any if we allow him to do it to a non-Jew. You throw it. He'll be distracted by giving non-Jew all those orders and involving him, just like a weekday. Malim Hu Atzmo said, what does he does himself? Or Shlucho said, or his agent does it. So Atir Dolav. For analysis, the work is the distraction is his. Base yesh davar shechol hamoed chamura miyonta. There's a way in which chol hamoed is more severe than yonta itself. Ketzad, how so? Gon any yud yishkiba wikibos libnos binyan liyisrael v'tochat kum. I'm sorry, we'll parse that wrong. Such as a non-Jew who accepted bikiboles, a contract, libnos binyan, so to build a house for a Jew or a structure for a Jew. The b'tochat kum aser. Then the kum it's aser because that people see it. But on Yontav, chutz tchum mutter. It's outside the tchum. Since the Jews can't get there to see it, on Yontav it would be okay. As long as there's not another Jewish city within the 2,000 amas of the construction area. Like we were up at Shabbos. No, if it's outside the tchum, it's still also. Because the Shabbos, Yontav Shasei chutz tchum. At Shabbos, Yontav when he can't go more than 2,000 amas. There's no concern that anybody's going to see they're building this guy's house on Shabbos or Yontif. People go outside Tchum. Also, name our sign. Forbidden because the looks bad. People can see it. There's no difference whether your construction is in the Tchum or outside Tchum. You can't have it done. As says, he's not clear. Perhaps you can be Mako if everybody knows that it's being done by the contractor on a contract and that he's not your agent. The Ratul writes, even after the fact, even that buys beside any Hudi, when the house is built in a prohibited way by a non-Jew, it's probably not to enter that house. It's mutter according to the strict letter of the law. It's probably the machmir. Those who wrote the Bach, the Medina also. It's also used the house according to the letter of the law. Okay, Arukh says it's not true. We don't Bach like the Bach on that. Mishmur writes that if it was done by contract, it's mutter to live there. But if you hire day laborers to work on it, then it's also Medina. It's also even according to the basic letter of the law. And the opinion of the Magen Avraham is that it's also for him, according to basic letter of the law, forever. And for others, the amount of time it takes to do that construction. And the Taz says it's only us. It's only usher Medina to even for yourself. The amount of time would have taken to do it on a weekday. Continuing, Arukh HaShulchan, you gave a contractor such as an auto mechanic work to do before Chol Moed, and it's not connected to the ground. In the non-Jew's house, and on a contract. He didn't specify specifically. Mutter, that's okay. You can give the Jew, non-Jew, any at work, even if it's connected to the ground. If you under contract, or paying per diem, for Yontif, knows and to stipulate to do this specifically after Yontif. Even a Chol you can contract them to work after Yontif. When you hire him on Chol you should make sure not to measure or weigh or count. Like you do on a weekday, mekach bilvad. You should just make an agreement as opposed to weighing stuff out. Shura says, the Rebbe writes that in linen clothing, that where the prohibition on laundering them is only on account of a minhag, you can give the launderer the clothing to wash after Yontif, and you even count them. Your Rebbe doesn't seem to draw a distinction. You can rely and count out whatever you're giving to him to make sure you get back or you get performance in appropriately. Um, You can also give a Jew work to do after on Chol Moed to do after Yom Tov. El B'nei Yehudi yesh Shabbos Yoser. But a non-Jew there's a bigger chiddush. Abi sheyesh l'chush lo tzayis. Even though we should be suspicious, he's not going to listen to us. V'yaseh Chol Moed is going to do the work of Chol Moed anyway. Im afilu avarva so Chol Moed. Nevertheless, even if he did violate and do the work of Chol Moed, mutter, it's okay for me. However, hitno yimotz, it's I stipulated with him. So Chol Moed do it after Yom Tov. I mean, so don't also have to go protest and tell them not to do the work. With Davar before some robbing, but it's something which is very public. Yeah, and it seems like, for example, if your landscaper comes on Chol Hamoed to work, certainly Yontif, you have to tell him to go away. The bracket says here, because I'm going to run, the Davar mitzvah mutal man any asas Chol Hamoed. For the person mitzvah, you're allowed to tell non-Jew do something Chol Hamoed and Sham. It's only something which is not connected to the ground. As you know, something connected to the ground is more severe. Field based has to base on medrash also even knows. Even a shul based medrash now to build and have a non-Jew build for you a Chol Hamoed. Mishnah Berurah says it's okay if you're going to finish a Chol Hamoed and you're going to use a dab in a Chol Hamoed. But to work either on a shul or a base medrash on a Chol Hamoed, it's a Chil Hashem. If the non-Jew is a sharecropper in your field, Mutal Asos, he can do whatever he wants because he's a sharecropper, not your agent. Vainlel Simon Reshman Base, see from Base, I may want to see Tough Kufmem Dalit. Dine Tzarche Rabim Chomai. Needs of the masses. Aleph Shanim and Mishnah Reshmoy Cotton. Mishnah says those in Kol Tzarche Rabim Chomai do all the needs of the masses on Chomai. The Mishnah Be'aloch writes that if they're Tzarche Mitzvah, you can even do that. The person who's doing it can even get paid. If it's Tzarche Rabim, which are not a mitzvah, the Machzis Shekel says you can't get paid, and Prima Gonim says you can get paid. This Rambam says, you can do all the needs of the masses on Chol Hamoed. You can fix broken water pipes, produce a rabim in the public thoroughfare. You can fix the roads. That's the highways, that's the rechovas and the roads. The chovin the rabim, and you can dig for the masses, boros, cisterns, sichin, moros, and other structures that hold water. And you dredge rivers, I guess you dig rivers actually, like canals, to drink from the water. Because they might have boros. You can put water into the cisterns, umaros, and the cave sharabim of the masses. And you can fix their cracks. You remove thorns from the road. You measure the mikvos. Any mikvah which is lacking the proper amount of water, you allow water to go in, and complete its measure. She writes that you're also allowed to make a mikvah Chol Hamoed, as long as it's going to be finished Chol Hamoed and it's Tzarech Hamoed, similar to what he said about a shul based measures before.